All right, so moment of truth. I am just going to go into my easy vein. First things first, this guy. Easy enough to open, peel it open with a little tab. You do not have to worry about keeping this sterile, just try to keep it clean. When it comes in the package, it looks like this, okay? It is, it's actually got 2 needles on it. I learned this the hard way. Another story for another time. But what you're seeing, you pull off the sleeve, is the butterfly, and this is what's going to go into your blood vessel. And this is another needle, and it is going to go into the vacutainer. It is coated with a retractable piece of rubber, okay? When the vacutainer pops on there, it pushes the rubber back and the needle goes into the vacutainer. But it is a sharp, okay? Do not push on it. Do not forget about it. It is a sharp. It needs to be treated as such. So you're going to take, first of all, this guy, and he just screws right on, okay? Doesn't have to be tight. Oops. And I don't know what it is about these, but sometimes they fall apart. These are not lure lock, okay? They do not screw into place. This is what we call a slip tip system, all right? It just slips on. Syringe is lure lock. It's got a screw, and actually all lure locks pretty much fit together. This could screw on there. You could theoretically draw blood that way. It's a pain in the butt. I wouldn't recommend it. But slip tip, lure lock, and this is a female receiver. This is a male end for obvious reasons. Okay, so you've got your system ready to go. Now, here's a huge tip. If you're trying to run this into your vessel, it goes all over. It wants to go all over the place, okay? Once you get it in there, you don't know where it's going to go. So the first thing I do with these guys is stretch them out. Look how much nicer that is, right? I know where that guy's going to go when I let go of it. So stretch it a couple times. You're not going to hurt it. It's very, very resilient. And kind of just give yourself a system that's setting you up for success. This has a needle cover on it. I do not take that off until I'm ready to puncture my vein. All right, 2 tubes here. The next thing I'm going to do is set up my dressing. This is a dressing that I'm going to use for 2 things. I'm going to use it to stop my blood after I pull the needle out, but I'm also going to use it to hold my needle in place while I handle my blood tubes. This frees up a hand. This minimizes the chances that, you know, something goes wonky and your needle falls out of your vein. You don't want any of that. So keep this handy. I'm going to tape it to my lamp here. Last thing I'm going to do is alcohol up my vessel. And then I'm going to put my tourniquet on and we're going to get going. All right. Okay. So we're going to just, I like to scrub a couple directions in a grid pattern. Get it good and clean. Again, I'm going to do my tourniquet, my quick release there. All right, and we're ready to go, okay? I'm gonna take this. Now, I know I'm gonna go in right about here, okay? So I'm going to want this cotton ball part to be right about there when I get the needle in. So I'm gonna tape part way and just kind of leave it hanging there, all right? So once I get the needle in the vein, I can just bring it over and kind of tack it down, all right? Take this guy in your hand of the arm that you're going to use, okay? Because you're going to use this and you don't want to really have to move this hand once you get the vein accessed. And then have your tubes handy. I've got 2 of them. So I'm going to pop this off. Now, there is a bevel. I hope you can see this. Yeah, hard to see, but the needle has an angle on it, okay? That is, you can see it shining there. The bevel needs to be up, okay? Bevel down is going to give you, with the angle that you're going in, it's going to give you more of a chance to suck up against the back wall of the vein. Bevel up is going to, first of all, let that sharp tip be the first thing that penetrates. And then as it sits in there, it's going to be situated so that that should be more clear of obstruction than if the bevel were down. So you grab the butterfly like this. This is part of why butterflies are wonderful. You can control them very easily. Just kind of put them together like that, all right? And then, I hope you can see this. I'm trying to make sure that I'm at the best angle for you. You want to go quick, but don't gently approach it. You are going to want to go in one quick, smooth stroke. You see that? I hope so. And as again, my hand is holding this. All right, here we go. Little poke, lots of blood, and you can see that I got a nice little flash of blood in the tubing here, okay? So we're in, and now I'm just gonna do this. And magic, you are going to watch me fill a tube with blood. If your tube starts running a little slow, you can sort of change the angle of your needle just slightly, so you can see how moving that around a little bit can really change the rate that I'm filling. All right, I'm only gonna do 2 of these because I'm tired and I'm not injecting PRF all over my face today. But once it stops, just pop it off, okay? You can lay this down right now, that's fine. Have your other one ready to go. Pop it in there. All right, kind of keep an eye on it. And as it gets towards the top, you can also kind of rotate the needle a little bit, not just change angles, but kind of rotate the tubing a little. First thing you're going to do before you do anything here, pop that tourniquet, okay? You do not need the tourniquet anymore. Now, to make as less of a mess as possible, I learned this. Leave the tube on the needle, okay? Because there's still a little bit of a vacuum in there. And pull this needle out here, all right? It's gonna suck whatever's in the tube, this tubing, up into here. And you're not gonna have it as near as big of a mess. So don't worry about pushing on this, just pull the needle out, then push on it, okay? And now I got this. Now I'm gonna pop this off, all right? And that's it for drawing blood. I now have 2 tubes of my own blood, okay? You don't have to mix them. There's nothing in there that needs to be mixed. You'll see a lot of phlebotomists doing this because they are taught to do it because most tubes do have something, all right? And then I am going to, still kind of one-handed because I like to hold pressure on here for a good 30 seconds. But I'm gonna pop these tubes into the centrifuge, all right, opposite each other. All right, so you might have heard this really quiet centrifuge. You might have heard it start up, and now it stopped. So I'm just finding that sweet spot right after it starts. And then I'm gonna set a timer for 4 minutes and be done. I'll show you the product when I'm done.